helps. We also have a building we own, so we spoke to our bank about getting deferment for at least a month. Well, they may have to go into 2 months. We don't know. They were very cooperative and very supportive, so that was helpful. I mean, that's sort of what we're at right now today, is just trying to push as our presence as much as we can, and make ourselves known to the community as best we can.
And you've always been successful doing that. And fortunately, you do have a loyal following. And I think it's important that you had an infrastructure in place and a payment platform. Have you seen any increase in online sales in the last week or two?
I take it you mean like beyond just the local community taking advantage of our opportunities. Yes, we are seeing we're shipping out nationwide, worldwide, really, to the few countries that are still taking in packages from out overseas, but we're shipping nationwide, and yes, we are seeing an increase in things that are happening there. So that's helpful. That's good. But I mean, what we're not seeing is as many big ticket items. So we're talking about things that are like $10 or less. So there's going to be a cost that we have not yet calculated, particularly as we've been offering free shipping for Berks County. There's going to be a cost in terms of expenses incurred because of this that we haven't really started calculating yet. Shipping materials that we're using much faster than we ever would have, extra costs for shipping.
Right.
And of course the time that we're taking. These are all going to be costs that we're going to have to figure out later. But right now we're just glad to have income in the door.
Okay, thanks so much. Renee, let's hear from you next.
Well, when I first heard about it, I'm sure Ryan can concur that I said, oh my God, I'm going out of business. That's what I said. Because I depend on March, April, and May, good sales on March, April, and May to get me through the summer, because the summer is usually slow. I do not have any employees, so I didn't have to worry about that. I am the only employee. I have paid my rent for April. I'm not sure what May is going to bring. But I have my bank contacted me. They have a care project. I don't know if anybody else inquired about that, but they're helping small businesses get through this with grants. So I have applied for that. I've also sent Small Business Association, sole proprietorship, and whatever I need to Washington, D.C. to the Small Business Administration. I have another on Tuesday. So that is really my only hope. I mean, I have people saying, we'll lend you money. That's not the point. The point is, I have to be in there to sell. I don't sell online unless somebody, calls me up and says, I saw such and such online. Can you mail it? My problem is I live in Montgomery County, so it is very difficult for me to be there and here. I have a 97-year-old mother who I do take care of, so I don't want to expose myself to any other people. And get other than that, I'm just taking it day to day. I think there was one night I kind of panicked, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay the bills? But so far I'm okay. But I would say after this month, I don't know. So I just have to wait to hear from the government and from my bank. So.
Okay. Thank you, Renee. All right, let's talk to Jennifer, Farmhouse Flowers.
Okay. Well, I think, I was also kind of just shocked at the beginning and trying to figure out what I was able to do and what I wasn't able to do. It seems like I am still able to do some deliveries. It's, no contact deliveries. So that has been a positive. However, I am having a lot of difficulties sourcing flowers because all of the places where I previously sourced flowers are closed. So, it's trying to develop some new relationships and contracts with farms and places that are able to, still send out flowers. I do grow my own flowers, but obviously this time of year, there's not much blooming, and, we don't have any of our own seeds in the ground yet. So that has kind of been difficult, but I'm just trying to kind of make things work, just each day.
Jennifer, now I'm thinking about this because you did the flowers for my daughter's wedding last year so beautifully. Yes. What do you do if you've already been contracted to provide flowers for upcoming weddings that have been canceled or other events? Has that happened to you?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, all of my April brides have rescheduled or canceled. And, the one good thing is, rescheduling, as long as I have the date available, everything is kind of working out as that goes. But, the ones that have canceled completely, it's been hard, but I understand.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, that's more lost income for you then.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Who else here? Let's see. Ryan, you sell refurbished computers.
Yeah, and it's similar in the beginning to Anita. So right before this all went down, we moved to a larger building, and we couldn't even open the store once we moved. Now, I mean, I do have to admit that a larger portion of the sales for my business is online. A lot of the things that come through the front door with the retail would be repairs and then a handful of sales. 2 weeks ago, I decided to actually shut down everything because with receiving packages and sending packages, I don't know what like at that point, we didn't know what our exposure was going to be. And we have 2 little ones at home. So we didn't want to take, both my wife and I work at the business. We didn't want to take anything back to the house with the kids. So it's been interesting. I'll say that it's all voluntary at this point. I still have people come to the door and I have to tell them that, at this point, I can't take anything through the front door. I have been making exceptions because I have a helpful personality. So I want to help, but the things that I have taken in, I will leave sit for a few days before I even touch them. But one thing that I have learned is, and I don't know how it could be for other businesses, but reoccurring revenue, something that you can have billed on a monthly basis to customers that maybe you don't have to provide anything every month. Like for instance, for me, offering antivirus solutions or Office 365 subscriptions, things that I can offer customers that would have a minimal involvement from me, but would still provide a monthly income. Because, and we don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know, and that's the thing. When I shut down last week, it was just to kind of gauge how this was going to go, but seeing how long this might actually play out, I have no choice but to reopen some online streams for sales, even though I don't, I don't want to be exposed, but I also can't go under.
Right. Okay, let's hear from the organizations next, and then we'll talk about some other financial resources for small businesses. So, Sandy, did you want to talk to us about downtown Kutztown and the impact of this? I mean, I can't believe that after we spent all this time on the task force and wanted to start that process, that we've been hit by COVID-19.
Yeah, well, that's going to continue though. It's right now it's at a standstill, but I did talk to Amanda Robinbush, who's going to take the lead of that task force.
Okay.
And she's just, she works for Bethlehem Township. So I know she's got some, things on her plate right now, but she is going to reach out to the committees to start that task force in the strategic plan moving forward. I would encourage, we've been pushing out through the KCP newsletter, the CARES Act. It's the Paycheck Protection Program. I would encourage all businesses to take a look at that if you have payroll. I know a lot of our businesses downtown are thankful that we've been pushing this resources out. and had been doing applying for things. Today was the day to do the economic injury disaster loan. In fact, KCP is applying for that for $10,000 to go toward, rent and payroll. You're not guaranteed that you're going to get it, but I sure as heck would apply for it, just like Renee did. Renee, good for you to reach out to the CARES Act and take advantage of those programs that the federal government is offering. I know Berkeley Travel, we did the paycheck protection program today. You talk about an industry being hit pretty hard, the travel industry. I'd love to talk to Ellen Overcast, and see how she's doing. But yeah, KCP's been really, really pushing that out. The resources, we're getting a lot of good feedback on that. We did distance dining for our restaurants downtown. We had that on our website and our mobile app, just letting everyone know what services the restaurants are offering, if it's takeout, if it's curbside, online, that type of thing. So we've been really trying to work with the community and do everything we can remotely as possible. But again, I can't say enough about those different types of programs for your business. That's what I definitely would take a look at. I've been also talking to the borough to see if there's anything they can do to help small business, if it's extending those due dates on utility bills, things like that. So we're on ongoing discussion with that as well. So, anything we can do to help.
Yeah, thank you for those updates. It is important to take advantage of those loans, and we've had other chamber members apply for the disaster recovery loan, and that payment protection program that was launched today, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. Dina, did you want to talk about the climate in Hamburg? Dina?
Yes.
I unmuted you. Did you want to talk to us about downtown Hamburg?
Sure. I pretty much agree with what Sandy had to say. My role as an executive director of the organization is to try and keep all the downtown businesses informed of the different resources that are out there. I too did apply today for the payroll protection program, and I send all the information out to our businesses. I really having a hard time staying in touch with everybody. Seems like they're pretty much doing things on their own. I'm hoping that they are applying for these programs. But we're also hit as an organization with our fundraising sources. We own the Hamburg Strand Theater, and that's a big part of our income. That was shuttered on March 15th. So we have not been able to show any movies, no special events, anything like that in the theater. And we also had to cancel our big Art of the Brew Fest, which is one of our big fundraisers. So as an organization, we're really getting hit with our income coming in. So, and the other way we raise money is through our art gallery, the sales in the art gallery, and that, of course, is closed. So there's a lot going on in our organization. I'm hoping we can recover as an organization, and I'm hoping the downtown businesses will recover.
Yeah, you raised another important point, and that is we know all around Northeast Berks how many fundraisers for nonprofits were scheduled during the spring. And some of those events and galas and dinners are the primary fundraiser for those organizations. And most of them have been rescheduled. I really believe that at whatever point this ends, and there will be certainly probably a long recovery period, but I think that people will really come together to support all of the events and festivals and the retailers to help people really, kind of get back on their feet and to remain resilient through all of this. I think you realize when you go through a challenging and very unusual situation like the coronavirus, how many connections and supporters we all have as organizations, businesses, and people. And there are people out there who can support us through, whether it's guiding us through an application process or providing us with maybe some big marketing idea that can can help us get through this. John, did you want to say anything about some of the funding resources? John? I don't know if I lost him. I know that Facebook and Constant Contact are also providing some resources. And so as we become aware of those, yes, we will all continue to push out that information so that others can share in that.
KU has small business associations. They will help you through it. Just contact them. And also Temple University has a small business association that helps too.
Yeah, you're right about that. If you call the 800 number, they will guide you through the application process for the disaster loan. All right. Are there any other comments or thoughts before we conclude?
I have some feedback if anybody's interested about how we've been handling packages.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So we've been kind of taking the glitter bomb approach to looking at contamination. Just visualize that a glitter bomb has gone off and you're trying to avoid getting any more glitter on you than you absolutely have to. It's a kind of a silly metaphor, but actually it's quite apt when you think about it. And the problem that we eventually had to research was how long if we're setting packages out, are we, is it safe? So when we were looking at that, we were good to, it was good to see that they're finding about 24 hours for viability for paper and cardboard. We still have been warning when people were doing pickups, we were still wiping down the surfaces of all the books and everything, and still telling people, wipe it down again, keep it on the porch for a day or two, just, be safe, in terms of shipping, it's in transit long enough that it shouldn't be a problem by the time it gets to its destination. And certainly we haven't seen anything coming from anybody saying otherwise. And we have been following it on, American Bookseller Association has been talking to other booksellers and also getting information from healthcare, health services and stuff to make sure they're not giving bad advice. So we're trying to follow that advice very carefully. In terms of dealing with things like minimizing interaction, well, I mean, it's just me and my wife. We're alone in the building. We try to go to the grocery store, only once a week if we can make it happen. And we're going to the post office every day. But yeah, you can be believed that we're wearing gloves and probably now going to be wearing masks too. And we're trying to touch as little as humanly possible. And the women that are at the Kutztown post office have been doing their best to try to help keep quarantine. But obviously they're frontline people and they're getting exposed to everybody, including the people who are not paying attention or not taking this seriously. Most of the people we're seeing are taking it seriously, but just one person who doesn't think they have symptoms, so obviously don't have it and are wrong, could, spread it, all over the place. So we're being careful. We're being conscious of what we're doing. We're conscious of how we're handling material. We're conscious of who we're handing it to, how we're handling it, what the direction, the flow of material going from point A to point B, how we're handling things, how we're sanitizing things. When we get the tubs back, we're handling them with gloves until we basically cover them in bleach every time. It seems like extreme measures to reduce contamination, but that's sort of, if you're using the glitter bomb idea as kind of your visualization, it's what's necessary. It's what's necessary. So I don't know if that helps anybody in terms of their own online business, but that's sort of what we've discovered we sort of need to do.
Yeah, thank you for that advice. I think it is important, very much so. Well, the Northeast Berks Chamber appreciates your participation in this program today. We're here to support you with resources and information, and also to keep your presence out there during this time of virtual and online programming. So thank you very much, and have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. You as well.